Tony and I are really, really close to Robyn. She was the first one to really, really accept our relationship. And
if not the only, at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning, she was the only
I
one.
know.
I'm so glad you came to see us.
I'm glad we came too.
Right?
So, like, that's my biggest thing, is just making sure that, like, we're all
Good.
our relationship continues, and it's based on what goes on in our relationship. No
It's
matter
not
what's
based
going
on outside sources.
You're my kids. I love you guys to pieces. My girl and my boy.
Amidst all the struggles we're having as a family, I love that Mykelti is still warm to us. She wants a relationship with Robyn. She wants us to have a relationship with Avalon. I think a lot of that has to do with Tony. Tony loves Robyn, and they've always had a connection.
Tony and I really get each other. He's a good kid.
Robyn and Mykelti have had a really close relationship from the time I started courting Robyn. Frankly, both Christine and I were benefited by this relationship that Robyn had with Mykelti. She saw Mykelti in a way Christine and I hadn't.
You know how the saying goes, don't let people tell you who they are. Let them show you. Actions speak louder than words, and I'm sure that there are plenty other sayings that convey this sentiment. Moral of the story is talk is cheap, and that's all that Robyn can afford these days. When the opportunity arises for her to show the world.
No. Tell the whole world. Tell the world.
And more importantly, her family, that she's all about family, she fails to deliver. Mykelti and Tony reacted to season 18, episode 13 over on their Patreon, and they answered several questions regarding the Zoom gender reveal, the McMansion Kids' absences, and just the amount of effort it takes them to maintain a relationship with Mykelti's dad and Robyn. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be voiceover commentary. One of the most talked about moments from season 18, episode 13 was Mykelti's appearance in her and Tony's confessional because she was sporting a very obvious fake baby bump. Well, Mykelti did shed some light on that for us. She revealed that the fake bump that had been used in years past had somehow been misplaced, so they improvised with a pillow and saran wrap. This isn't exactly piping hot tea, but I do love some behind the scenes info. Fake bumps for confessionals are super common. We see this on TLC's Unexpected all the time. It's just been super noticeable with Mykelti because she and Tony have lost a significant amount of weight from when the footage was shot for this season and when their confessionals were filmed. So a lot of people have been thinking that we understand that this is filmed a lot later. We probably did not need the fake bump, but anyways. One of the main focal points for this episode was Mykelti's gender reveal Zoom call, a Zoom call that was attended by the vast majority of the family. One of the first things viewers pointed out was that on the gender reveal Zoom call, Madison's daughter Evie did a better job recognizing her family members than Ariella has in the past. And Tony and Mykelti both acknowledged that as a fair call-out. And this really sets up the tone for a line of questions that viewers had in regards to the gender reveal call. Mykelti was asked why the McMansion kids weren't on the Zoom call, and Mykelti said that she didn't know. She did point out that Garrison, Peyton, and Leon also weren't on the Zoom call, and she said it was a set time. If you could make it, great, and for those that couldn't, she told them privately. Here's the thing, though. We know why Mary wasn't on the Zoom call. Mary and Mykelti don't have a relationship. But we know the McMansion kids all live at the McMansion, which is where Robyn and Cody were zooming in from. So the odds of all 5 of Robyn's kids having work or school commitments at the exact time of this call seems like a long shot. So odds are that some of those kids were just hanging around listening to Cody and Robyn on this call. Out of Mykelti's 12 other siblings, 9 were in attendance. So you'd think some of the McMansion kids wouldn't have had schedule conflicts, especially Saul and Ari, who are still minors. From that explanation, questions started coming in on Mykelti and Tony's relationship with Robyn's kids in general. How often do they see them? How often do they try to see them? At one point, Tony says they invited Robyn kids up, but they haven't come up to see them. And Mykelti said that that's not true. They came up last year at Christmas time. And Tony pointed out that that was with Robyn. They haven't been able to hang out with Robyn's kids unchaperoned, which reminded me a lot of what we hear on Welcome to Plathville. It's a super obvious control tactic that Kim and Barry have employed. Kids that were deemed unsafe were not allowed around the younger or impressionable kids unsupervised. And Mykelti and Tony are revealing to us here that they are not even considered safe to be around in Robyn's eyes. Mykelti and Tony say they've tried to plan vacations and meetups with the older kids that can drive, but it hasn't worked out. And I wonder why it hasn't worked out. I wonder why Mykelti and Tony haven't asked themselves that question. How are Robyn's oldest kids' schedules any busier than Tony and Mykelti's that they wouldn't be able to freely make plans with their siblings? Mykelti says that they try every year to get together with Robyn's kids, and it's really frustrating. Someone in their chat commented, "That's odd that you're putting in a lot of the effort and they're not." And Tony says, "Yeah, that's probably why we have a good relationship with them. We know it's not 1-for-1. It's probably more like 3-to-1. Tony and Mykelti are willing to give the 3 to get the 1 so that they have the family connection for themselves and for their kids." And this is what Maddie was unwilling to do. She was unwilling to put her kids' emotional well-being at the whim of what her dad deemed as loyal. She has 3 kids and lives states away, and having to always do the heavy lifting to maintain the relationship is exhausting. At this point in time, it seems like Mykelti and Tony are still willing to do that heavy lifting, but I don't know how sustainable that is. I hope for Mykelti and their kids' sake that it is sustainable and that they get a relationship with Cody and Robyn that is satisfactory to them. For a lot of Cody's kids, what he is willing to put out as far as effort has been deemed unsatisfactory. I just cannot believe that for the kid that does everything, and they acknowledge Mykelti as being the one kid who has gone above and beyond to be accepting of Robyn, not even she is worth more of an effort. I know Mykelti has hard feelings towards Mary, but they do share one thing in common. They both have done everything set forth as criteria for Cody's love, and it still hasn't been good enough. Because as Regina George so eloquently put it,
Whatever. Those rules aren't real.
anyways, you guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to check out my second channel, Sarah Spills. A link for that will be in the description of this video. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.